program, if I could get my students to participate in this program and make the goals, I could totally get them to college and wherever they wanted to go, and also scholarships to go along with it. So we're going to talk about the Congressional Award Program in a minute, but first we're going to talk about community impact. And so we've called this program the Community Impact Program because it's not just about getting an award, but that's a huge part of it. So why do we want our students to make impact in order to help with their college admissions goals? One, the colleges love students who are making impact. It prepares future leaders, which is what the colleges are all about. And it also enhances the college campus experience for all students when you have students who are able to make impact. One is it increases the engagement in the classroom. These are students who will get involved in the class and make it more interesting. Second, these colleges have 300, 500, 1,000 different student-led clubs and organizations. But notice that they are student-led. So they want to admit students who will lead these organizations and these clubs. Next, they care about alumni representation. So they want students who are going to make impact in the future. How do they know if a student will make impact in the future? They look at what they've done in high school. Maybe that doesn't seem right to judge everything on what a student has done in their first 17 years, but that's what they do. So that's why we are here. And then next, it aligns with the university's missions to create leaders. And we'll talk about that in a moment too. So just kind of looking at some trends here are two of my recent students who I helped with the U.S. Congressional Award Program. Both are gold medalists. Borislava here received early acceptance to Princeton on a full ride scholarship as a Congressional Award gold medalist. And Tamsin is currently studying at Stanford, and she also had acceptances and scholarships to Cornell, Pomona, USC, and many other schools too. So here's an example. Now I'll go into a little more detail about why the colleges love these gold medalists. So here's some mission statements from both Harvard and MIT. And I think this is very helpful for parents to understand the context of what these universities are looking for, that it's more than just an academic transcript, although that's the first thing that they look at. For example, look at the mission of Harvard College is to educate the citizens and citizen leaders for our society. They do this through a diverse living environment. You can scroll on down there. With intellectual transformation is deepened and conditions for social transformation are created. From this, we hope that students will begin to fashion their lives by gaining a sense of what they want to do with their gifts and talents. Notice what they want to do with their gifts and talents, accessing their values and interests, and learning how they can best serve the world. So we want to start that service now to show these colleges that, yes, our students are serving the world. And then right across the street at MIT, the mission of MIT is to advance knowledge and educate students in science, technology, and other areas of scholarship that will best serve the nation and the world in the 21st century. And if we go down to the last paragraph here, we seek to develop in each member of the MIT community the ability and passion for working wisely, creatively, and effectively for the betterment of humankind. And then if we go across the country to the New University of California system, who just had all their applications due yesterday, what are they looking for? They are looking for obvious growth in commitment and impact when it comes to both academic enrichment and other activities. This can be defined as leadership and initiating projects to deepen and expand your commitments. The UC's value, talent, achievement, and accomplishments. They are looking to give you credit, but you have to tell them what you have achieved. The UC's value concern for others and community outreach. Thinking about people and situations beyond yourself, especially in the context of the diversity present in the UCs and in California. We're going to talk more about diversity later too. They are looking for evidence of your commitment and desire to make a difference in what you've chosen to do. So we want our students to start to prepare early. They want students eager to become part of the the active intellectual and extracurricular life on campus. And if there are challenges that you've had, you show that you'll be able to thrive regardless. So we want our students to try something, to have some grit, and maybe to have some challenges. And in the Congressional Award Program, we do talk about challenges as part of the program. So here's a pyramid that you've probably seen, and I'm going through these, the big picture kind of quickly here, but just to set the stage, and then we'll go into more detail on the Congressional Award Program and how we run it as a community impact program. So Kyros has these 9 levels of extracurricular activities. The first 3 is having an impact for your own enrichment and benefit, and that is important, that you as a student are growing. Next, we impact our school community. So we grow as a person, and then we extend that into our school community. And then next, we impact the communities beyond the school. And we'll have some good examples of that later. So what types of community activities stand out? Here are some examples of several externally recognized activities that you probably recognize. There's Eagle Scouts, and there's the Girl Scouts Gold. There are key clubs. Often these are service clubs like the National Honor Society in our schools that students can get involved with. We also used to have the Presidential Service Award, and maybe that will return. We're not quite sure now, but it's on hiatus right now. And then we have Girl State and Boy State. Those are programs held in each state, and each high school generally gets to choose one student to nominate to go to those programs. So that's a great sign of leadership if you can be nominated by your school to attend Girl State or Boy State. And I'll throw in a little plug for that because those are going to become opening up soon. Go tell your counselor or have your child tell their counselor. They have to be in 11th grade to attend the Girl State and Boy State programs. For 10th grade, they can attend the Hobie Youth Leadership Program. But those are programs where the schools can nominate one student to attend these programs. So they're great to talk to your school counselor to find out about. Then we have the United States Senate Youth Program. That's 2 students per state. And then what we're talking about today is the U.S. Congressional Award Program, and especially the gold medal. So when students are applying to college, the colleges first look at the transcript. They want to see the rigor of the classes that you took and how you did in those classes. Next, they're going to look at your activities. But on the application, on every application, for both college admissions and also all scholarship applications, first you list your honors and awards and then the activities. So we've got 2 components here that we're going to talk about. The nice thing about the Congressional Award is that it's listed as an award, but then you have all the underlying activities that you've done to earn that award. So it kills 2 birds with 1 stone here. And I think the awards are important because these admissions officers are looking at so many thousands of applications. They say they read them all. I don't know. Do they? But you want to have an award there that will really stand out so that they will keep reading. So what kind of awards do our students commonly have that they put on their applications? So here's an example. This is literally what the common application looks like. In the common application, you can list 5 different honors and awards. So here we've got some common listings. We've got the Dean's List or Honor Roll. We've got an AP Scholar, the Presidential Service Award, the National Merit Semifinalist, great recognition, and then the U.S. Congressional Award Gold Medal. Now, how did these compare? Because I know this is a question you're going to ask. So this is what this looks like. So your Dean's List, your honor roll students, you have millions each year because you have hundreds. And depending on the size of the school, you might have 1,000 different Dean's List and honor roll students at your high school. The AP Scholar, again, great recognition, but we have hundreds of thousands of AP Scholars. The Presidential Service Award, when we have those up to this year, so you generally have about 50,000 students. Some schools would have hundreds of students just in one school that will get the Presidential Service Award. National Merit Semifinalist, that's for a high score, the top 0.1% on your 11th grade PSAT. We have 16,000 students in the US that will be National Merit semifinalists. Now, the US Congressional Award Gold Medal. Only 700 students in the entire country received the gold medal last year. Now, let's take it from the honors and awards section to the activities section. Here are two examples. These are two examples from two of our gold medalists of the activities that they participated in and reported on their common application. So this is the taken directly screenshotted from the common application. And you can see the depth of the activities here. The first one on the left is a citizen ambassador from the National Security Language Initiative for Youth program, received a full U.S. State Department scholarship to study abroad in Taiwan for 7 weeks in an intensive language program at the university in Taiwan. Another foreign exchange experience that led to that, community service, was an event coordinator and a lead volunteer for Women, Tempe. So she started as a volunteer and then became a leader in the school, coordinating school packing programs for feminine hygiene products, and then took out into the community to various churches and such. On the right, we have a student who took kind of a more of a city involvement approach. She was vice chair and the project management chair for the City of Tempe's Mayor's Youth Advisory Commission. She also participated as a youth outreach and resources officer for an organization called Eris Foundation, which provides weekly meals and resources to unhoused people. Now, again, she started as a mere volunteer on Saturdays for 2 hours, working for the Eris Foundation, and then became a leader, including getting the certifications to become a resource officer. Great impact stories here. The one on the left is a student currently at Princeton, and the one on the right at Stanford. So this gives you some examples of how the activities that they did to earn that gold medal influenced and gave them great opportunities at many colleges and universities. So here's another student. Here's Clara. So an example of what Clara did. So she started off with an idea. Where did she want to volunteer? So she chose Gathering Humanity and just started as a mere volunteer to create hygiene packages here, as you can see here. So then she took her experience with Gathering Humanity, and this is an organization helping refugees, and then took it to a school and organized school events through the different school clubs, through National Honor Society and such, and got lots of other classmates involved in packing for these hygiene products. And then she got involved in a different ambassador role with again, a State Department scholarship with the National Security Language Initiative for Youth. She combined her volunteer work with the refugees with some projects and the networking that she created there, became a lead in some really neat, impactful projects. And she then went on to Princeton, to the Wharton School of Business. So here it gives an example of breaking down that impact. So she started with noticing the cultural and gender discrepancies in her school and in the community. And then she went from that to engaging classmates and community members in impactful service at the individual level, at the school level, at the state level, and then the international level, and received almost a full $1 million in college scholarships and got to attend her first choice university. And in particular, she attended or was accepted to the Huntsman program at the University of Pennsylvania, which is a dual degree program in the Wharton School of Business and a degree in international studies with the College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences. Here's another example of a student, Chris. Chris really liked outdoor adventure, which is also part of the Congressional Award program. So he planned expeditions, was involved with Boy Scouts, set goals. He became an Eagle Scout. He also received, and this is a common theme here, the scholarship to study in China. This is a different student studying in China with the National Security Language Initiative for Youth program. So these examples of starting down this path really helps the students to think big. Volunteered at Project Cure with organizing and distributing medical supplies internationally, and organized packing sessions with students at his school to do that also, and then attended Stanford University. Okay, so that was our background. Now I'm going to get into the nuts and bolts that you're probably most excited about for the U.S. Congressional Award Program. So the Congressional Award is the United States Congress's award for young Americans. It is nonpartisan, voluntary, and I think this is very important, it's non-competitive. So much of what our students do and what they think they have to do to earn honors and awards can involve competition and being the best at something. In this program, everyone can participate at whatever level and whatever they are interested in. So love that. Earning the award is a fun and interesting way to get more involved in something you already enjoy or something you'd like to try for the first time. You move at your own pace, and you can do it on your own, or you can do it with friends. There is no minimum grade point average. There is no discussion in grades or classes in the Congressional Award Program. And it can accommodate young people with special needs or disabilities who set the goals at their level. It is not an award for past accomplishments. So this is really important. You can only count your hours and activities after you sign up for the Congressional Award Program on the congressionalaward.org website. So that's why, again, it's something you want to start right away. When can you start? You have to be at least 13 and a half to register on the Congressional Awards website. But then you have to be 14 years old to be able to submit for an award level. So we will start with our students when they're 14 years old in our Community Impact Program with Kyros. Then, what do you earn? What is the award? There's 3 levels of certificates and 3 levels of medals. So you start off with the bronze, silver, gold certificate. In our program, we start with the bronze certificate. After the certificates, then you have 3 medal levels, the bronze, silver, and gold medal. And each level involves setting goals in 4 program areas. You'll see here we've got voluntary public service. That's the big one. Then we have personal development, physical fitness, and expedition and exploration. Each of these areas has a lot of specific requirements, and that's why we're running this program, to help the students, to help the parents, help their students through these programs. So for example, voluntary public service, it's not called community service. It has to be public service. So the students have to do community service that is totally free to everyone who wants to participate. So sometimes students can do community service activities for their school or their school clubs like Key Club or National Honor Society that won't qualify for voluntary public service for the Congressional Award Program. So that is something that we, along with all these other requirements, work with our students on so that the service that they do qualifies for the program. And then the congressional medals are presented by your U.S. congressional representative. So very cool. It really gets our students connected to their U.S. congressional representative in a very unique way. So here's Catherine's experience. Catherine is one of our Community Impact Program coaches. Catherine started on the Congressional Award Program at age 13 and a half, and she's currently attending Princeton, and she received over $1 million in scholarship offers. She started the program, again, right when she turned 13 and a half, and earned all of her medals within 2 years. You cannot earn them in less than 2 years. It requires at least 24 months of activity. but our students who are dedicated can get them very quickly, and we are going to hear from one of those dedicated students pretty soon. So Catherine's experience, this is the example of our student who coordinating the packing of feminine hygiene products for women. And in her physical fitness, she joined the school's cross-country team. So again, we're trying to get our students to get out of their comfort zone, increase their network, try new activities. For personal development, she used her musical interests, developing her leadership skills there, and she built public speaking and effective communication skills. She'll also increased her time management skills. She's one of her first community voluntary public service activities was with the Humane Society, the pet rescue. And then she also then got into leadership because she started running a class, a club program. And this is how I started before suggesting this program to Kyros. I did a summer school class and then I started a school club. And Catherine was one of my first leaders for that. And so it was so successful in so many ways that then we started this program with Kyros, and I think we're on our 6th cohort here. And here's Teresa, also one of our Community Impact Program coaches. And both Catherine and Teresa are gold medal recipients. Whoops, skipped one here. Okay, so again, Catherine had lots of different opportunities. Here she is in one of her Princeton research projects, and here studying in Taiwan on the State Department scholarship, and she's currently at Princeton. So now let's talk about more about the Congressional Award Program and the Kyros program. So this is a 3-month winter program that we're starting very soon on December 14th so that we can take advantage of the winter holidays for the students to really make and work on their goals and get some hours done for this program because it's very hours driven. And you can see how we're structured here. We've got a 10-week program, and we start off with introductions, and we explain each of the components of the program and the specific requirements for them in detail. So we're talking about the voluntary public service, the personal development, the physical fitness, and the expedition exploration. Then we will talk about and get the verifications that are needed for each of those activities, and then we do all the forms to submit for the hours. So the easy part is doing the activities. Once our students set goals that will qualify, and then they do the activities. But I tell you, doing that submittable form, it can be somewhat of a bear because our students have never done forms like this with lots of different components. They haven't paid taxes yet. So this is a real start to that and learning how to do forms and the details that are needed for the submissions to be approved. And then we talk about planning our next award levels and how to get to the gold medal and making specific plans for that path. Here's some of our experienced program coaches who I've introduced in some of our topics. We have Teresa is currently a junior at Notre Dame. Catherine is a junior at Princeton. Kingley is a junior at Amherst. And Ellie is a freshman at Johns Hopkins, all of our medalists here. Then, of course, a very common question is, what happens after you do this 10-session or 10-week program with Kyros? And we get our bronze certificate, then what do we do? Okay, so this is a really fun aspect of the program is that I've created a club for students to continue and progress. So we have a club that meets once a month on the 3rd Thursday, and we're the Community Impact Club. And in that club, we continue to give examples of possible volunteering activities along with personal development and physical fitness. And they get to hear from students who are presenting for their awards. So they get these ideas of what students are doing all over the country for the Congressional Award program, and they really cheer each other on, and it's a really neat club format. So part of the club aspect is if a student is going to get their verifications from me for their activities, they have to present. I have to meet with them as their advisor uh, for them to present their activities and talk through them in detail. And when I first started working on this program with students, and I would have students present their activities to me, and I say, "Oh, I was thinking of all these other students that would want to hear, or that I wanted to hear what these students were doing because they would have such great ideas. Susie would like this, Joey would like this idea." So I created the club so that they didn't just present them to me, but they would present them to the entire club, which also gives the students then public speaking opportunities. Again, we're working on impact and leadership here. So when our students are ready to advance for the next award level, they present their activities for verification. I will verify them, but they're presenting it to me in front of the entire club. So that's how that has worked so well for our program. This is what the club looks like afterwards. So after you earn your bronze certificate, then you can join our monthly club. It's like a subscription. It's $24 every month. So what I've done is taken my fee to work for an hour, to have a one-on-one meeting for an hour, and just divided it up among 12 months. And then it's great. And then if a student can't attend a monthly meeting, and no one can attend every monthly meeting, these students are busy, then we will meet with them one-on-one, and they can present to us, or we can help them and review their submittable form and their record book. But this is a great way to keep everyone motivated and also to make it economical. So and you've heard a lot from me. Now I'm very excited to introduce Leo to you. So Leo was one of our Kairos Community Impact Program students, starting from scratch. And in our program, he earned the bronze certificate. Then he went on, joined our club, and earned the silver and gold certificates, and then the bronze and silver medals. And now he's preparing to submit for the gold medal. So I asked Leo if he would come and talk to you and tell you about his experience, what kind of goals he set, the activities that he did, and then he can also answer your questions too when we get to the Q&A portion. So Leo, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Moffat. Hi, everyone. Again, thank you for the introduction. My name is Leo, and I've been super excited to be a part of the Congressional Club, not only for the activities that I'll share, but also because I think it definitely helped develop me and a lot of my passions that I now also do outside of school as well. So one goal that I would like to highlight is similar to a lot of other people. I chose to volunteer at a local hospital. And that's also how I got interested in medicine. So ever since I've been volunteering at the hospital, I've been delivering samples to and from the emergency room to the testing facilities, and then also working with a lot of elderly patients that have dementia. I've also come to realize the value of medicine as a field, which is also now, which is why I wanted to pursue it in the first place. So I think that volunteer experience was definitely the first thing that encouraged me to pursue medicine and into a lot of my other extracurricular activities. The second goal I would like to highlight is how every single Sunday I tried to go to Union City, which is like 30 minutes from where I live, and help a lot of intellectually disabled athletes play soccer. So I help coach them, I help them refine their skills, develop like special training plans just for these athletes that might not have a lot of resources in their communities to, play soccer or participate in athletics. And I think that's also strengthened my reason for wanting to pursue some sort of career or some sort of path that would allow me to benefit others. And then for some of my personal development goals, so I've always been interested in biology as well. So that's why I wanted to commit myself to prepare for the USA Biology Olympiad, which is one of the bigger competitions in biology. So I spent a couple hours every single week studying bio through a textbook and a course. And the important thing to note is that this course was not for class credit as well, so it's always out of your own interests and passion. It's not for, oh, just so you can skip some classes. It's really what you are passionate about, what you would spend your time outside of school doing. So I chose to study for both biology and learn advanced like chemistry topics through a class. For physical fitness, I not only did I help other people play soccer, but I've also enhanced my own soccer skills through my involvement with both my school and my club team. And then one of my favorite parts of the Congressional Awards is definitely the expedition part, which is where I get to travel to different places and immerse myself in different cultural experiences. So the first I would like to highlight is one time when I was submitting for my, I think, bronze certificate. I noted how I went to New York City and learned a lot about different like art. So, for example, in that photo, you could see I'm standing right in front of the Metropolitan Art Museum, which I thought was super cool. And then the second experience that I would like to highlight is where I kind of like tapped into my own background coming from a Japanese family, which is why when we went to Tokyo, I challenged myself to survive, I guess, the streets of Tokyo with only one subway map, a subway card, and 10,000 yen. And that was also a super cool experience as well. And I think throughout all of my experiences, I've also definitely been able to learn a lot of different scholarship opportunities. So, for example, I remember Miss Moffat one time during one of our congressional club meetings, she highlighted this uh, scholarship called the My Impact Scholarship, which is a really great scholarship. The grand prize is $10,000 and it's awarded to a team or an individual that has demonstrated some sort of civic engagement in any project that they've accomplished. So, one of my extracurricular activities that I was doing outside of school that I developed through the Congressional Club, I thought fit that standard, and I was able to apply for the scholarship and eventually win the third best prize, which is around $2,500, which I thought was really great and further supported our mission. And I think overall, my experience in the Congressional Club was really positive, especially because I got a lot of feedback from all of my coaches. I got a lot of feedback from Ms. Moffat as well, especially with that submittable form, which is always a hassle. And I've also really formed great relationships. For example, one of the Congressional Club coaches, Kingley, she now is one of my kind of, I guess, upperclassmen, I would refer to as, because she always reviews some of the essays that I send her as well for any scholarship awards that I submit to. So I think all of these great experiences come from the Congressional Club, which is why I've always been I've always been happy to be in it, and I continue to enjoy to be in it as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Leo, for sharing. And if you've got questions for Leo too, we're going to open up to Q&A later too, so feel free to ask him. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Christina, who's going to talk about the December special that the Kairos is offering so that you can join our community impact program for the winter. We run a winter program and a summer program, but the students want to get started usually right away because you do have to have at least 24 months, at least 2 years of activities to get the gold medal. We haven't got into much detail on the differences of the hours and such for the certificates and the medals, but they're all based on hours and months. And you need at least 12 months of activity for the silver medal and 24 months of activity for the gold medal. So I am going to stop my